Hey everyone, my name is Zach. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you for joining in on this live stream. And yeah, hope you're doing really well on this beautiful day, whether it's lazy or whether it's, you're busy doing stuff. I just did this live intro and my mic was muted, so that's why it's all chopped up. Anyway, welcome to the stream. Thank you, Parnav, for mentioning that in the comments. So what we're going to be talking about today, dang, that was a good intro too, but that's all right. It's live. Um, People have probably been wondering why I've been doing more live streams. It's because mostly I don't want to plan things out all the time, and I want to just like kind of plug in and go. And so when you're doing live, this kind of a thing will tend to happen. You'll have some mistakes, but that's okay. We're going to press on and move forward. So for this video, we are going to be talking through really just one main new feature in Adobe Lightroom that I'm really excited about because I think it's going to really change the way that people approach low light photography. And if you haven't messed with it yet or seen the update, this is the new denoise feature that they have, like their Adobe AI generating, and it's very exciting. So we're gonna check that out, and then maybe we'll hit some other, just photo editing. And then if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. I'll be happy to get to them in between. All right, so we're gonna switch over to our edit screen. And now my audio should be coming through, which is just fantastic. Please let me know if it's not coming through. I don't want to have that mistake happen again. Okay, so here we are. Maybe I'll move this around. Yeah, this will be better. That way you can see the image. Okay, so everything's come through. Great. All right, so what we have here is Adobe Lightroom. This is not classic. This is not mobile. This is just the vanilla standard now, which is just the LR. And what I really want to mess with is this denoise feature that they have. And so I want to see if I can find a good example of how I don't have any low light pictures. This is kind of low light here. All right, we'll go with this picture. So this picture of myself, my buddy Ben Johnson took for me. And I'm realizing now as I bounce around that this is probably going to do that. So we'll do this. And everything looking good still. Okay, great. All right, this is really why I need another monitor in my setup, but I don't have the space for it. So please forgive all that moving around. Okay, so in this picture here, there's a lot of this, darkness here in the foreground because it was a backlit photo. And so what I want to do to kind of like show off this denoise feature is generate some noise. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to brighten things up. This is kind of like really overdoing stuff, but also just hopefully a good example of how this noise feature is going to work. And just for funsies, we'll raise the blacks. So now we have some what I would qualify as noise generated. So what we're going to do is go down to find the denoise feature. So you notice it's right under detail, and here it is, noise reduction, aka denoise. Basically, might be good at this point to talk about exactly what noise is and like a denoising and why you would want to have it. First of all, noise in an image, it's pretty much related to a few things. Light in your image. So if something's not bright enough, then you're attempting to brighten up the image artificially with like ISO, or it also, like, so if you have a high ISO, you'll have a lot of noise in your image. And then if your sensor is smaller, like an APS-C sensor that you find on most like smaller sort of consumer cameras, or even like a micro four thirds sensor, which is even smaller than an APS-C, those types of sensors are more susceptible. They have a greater chance of introducing noise into your image at lower ISOs. If you have a full frame camera with like, standard megapixel count like 24, then you can go to a bit of a higher ISO and not see as much noise introduced into your image. And then there's other things too that, now that I'm talking about this and going down the rabbit trail, there are other things too, such as sensor megapixel count. So lower megapixels typically mean less noise. Higher megapixel count can mean more noise. So all these factors go into what may or may not create a noisy image in your photos. So, and as I mentioned, this would be really good for sort of like low light stuff, and I might be able to find an image and we can kind of deal with that too. But let's go ahead back to this edit here, and I'm not sure how much this noise is showing up on YouTube, but we're gonna do our best here. So I'm gonna just go ahead and like zoom into the image. I'm gonna hit this denoise button, and we are gonna get going here. So hopefully this is showing up for you all. So what you're able to see is different spots in your images, and on basically Adobe's new AI is going to help reduce the noise in your image while retaining more information. I'm assuming what the AI is doing is also probably adding in and assuming some different types of details and helping to enhance the photo further. So let's just go ahead and let's turn the denoise off. And again, I'm not sure if this is showing up on YouTube, but there's, a good amount of texture there from raising up the shadows so much. So if I hit denoise, it like cleans everything up, and it's very nice to have, because then now I don't have as much noise in my shadows. There's a little bit of detail, but you can go through and you can kind of mess with how much. Like if you were to go over the top, let's say like 100%, even then, it's out of focus, it still looks good, but you're just gonna lack some of that detail and some of that sharpness that was present in the image prior. So let's just go ahead, we'll do like 50 and just see how that goes. And we're gonna hit enhance, and now the noise reduction is thinking and doing its work on our image. It said it was like an estimated time of like 30 or like 35 seconds to get it going. So while that's thinking, I just want to get into the chat real quick and also grab a sip of coffee. Again, thanks for joining, and if you have any questions, feel free to put them down below. Camille, what's up? Oh, you just downloaded the preset? That's awesome. Yeah, if you want a free preset or a couple of free presets now for Lightroom or Lightroom Mobile, just follow the link down in the description to my digital store, and it's there for you. Just a little freebie, a little taste tester, and then if you're wanting to do, you can check out all the other stuff that's down below. Okay, Ken's asking, why doesn't my Lightroom denoise say it does not work with my file? Which is I'm assuming it's a DNG. I had this problem earlier. Yeah, I think it has to be a raw file, I think. I might be able to find out some info here as we're going through this, because I had a JPEG earlier that I was trying to use this on too, and it told me the same thing. So I'm gonna guess that's why, Ken, and hopefully the answer is out there. Okay, so sweet. Okay, it looks like it's done here. Back over to our edit screen. So we've got our denoise applied, which is kind of cool. So then basically what I would do is go through and I would just edit this photo how I saw fit. Because that's what we do here. We edit things. So at this point, I'm just going. No real rhyme or reason. Like I said, I want to see if I can find a better example to help that denoise. But until then, you get to enjoy how I am gonna edit this here photo. Yeah, so this is with my buddy Ben Johnson. We were up in Pine Mountain, which is over in like the I can't even think. It's like Ojai area here in California. So we're gonna drop that dehaze, and let's go ahead. I wonder what happens now if I apply. I'm gonna learn with you guys. I'm gonna see if I apply a preset, if that messes things up or not. Let's see. It's just like slamming it. Okay, let's try this one. This is the free one. The freebie. So does that remove? No, it doesn't. Okay, that's good. Sweet. Did I get the results I'm expecting? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so this is that free preset that I talked about, and I applied it, and it did not change the noise, the denoise that we did. So before and after, and we are still having a nice, you know, pretty clean image all around. And I might just mess around with this a little bit. I think the focus was a little, it's definitely on me, but I think it was on the camera more than my face. That's actually pretty good. So just for funsies, because that glare is there, I might try doing a nice little radial gradient. And I do this a bit if I have any sort of like sunlight or anything peering into an image, is I will do this sort of big soft gradient, and I will do just a little bit of brightening. I will also, it's just exposure, there's color. Let's see if we can warm this up a bit so it kind of matches the mood of everything. We'll reduce some clarity, and we'll leave dehaze where it's at right now. Maybe reduce some of the texture. Okay, so then obviously this is on top of my face. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna subtract from the selection. So I love, like, this has literally been within the last, like, I don't know, I think 6 months or so. Maybe closer to a year, but I absolutely love all the stuff that Adobe's been doing with the selection tools and how it's helping for masking, both in Lightroom and in Photoshop, because it is making life so much easier. So what I'm gonna do though, I'm gonna subtract from this gradient, the radial filter, sorry, and I'm gonna just select, it already identified me as the person, so I'm gonna select, and I'm gonna select the entire, you know, my entire self being subtracted from the selection. And so now basically everything is going behind me. So we should be able to kind of see what we're looking like now. So, oh, sorry guys. Go back. So just adds a little bit of, just a little something something there, just to help it along. And then I might just like rework the crop here. Let's go to, let's just see what a 4x5 looks like, and we're gonna rotate it. Seems pretty decent. Maybe bring it up a little bit, and let's see what that does. So you obviously don't get everything in the image, but you know, that's the 4x5 nature of things. And we'll just lift things up a little bit more. And since we're at it, what do I want to do here? Where's my, there we go. And just a little bit more dehaze. And then we'll add a little bit of texture. Before and after, boom. So, quick little edit there. That's what we are rolling with. So what I want to do now, I want to see if I can find another photo here. just to see if we can get this effect showing a little bit better. What did this one look like? Ba, ba, ba. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're doing really well. And I'm just searching right now for, hopefully, a good image. Okay. Okay. Sweet. Perfecto. All right. I think this is going to be a good test of things here. All right. So this is an image that I got, I think this was a while ago, to be completely honest. This was flying somewhere, and it was dark, obviously. So it's a very dark image, and I really want to see if this denoise, I mean, look at that, that's just bad. What was my, okay, this was ISO 320 with a 50mm lens. Okay, this is a good example. This is with an A6300 camera, which I don't own anymore, but it's a great camera. And this has one of those smaller APS-C sensors. If you're not aware, the full frame, like an APS-C and compared to a full frame sensor, is literally half of the size. So it's just very susceptible to noise. And so what I want to do here is we're really going to test this denoise feature. So I lifted the exposure because I actually want to have you be able to see what's going on here. Maybe we'll do one of these numbers so it helps stands out a little bit more. And let's go ahead and try this denoise and just kind of see what happens. So obviously tons of it. Wow, it's pretty cool. Let's see, reduce it. Yeah, you right. Okay, so let's just crank it and see what we get. That's pretty cool. And there's still a lot of detail in there. I mean, I'm specifically, this is a little bit of a smeary image already. So like if I turn it off, let's go to like a part of the image. This is like the plane's wing. I kind of wish you could see a little bit more. Oh, well, there you go. Oh, I don't like that it does that. So that's with the denoise and without the denoise. I'm not sure I'm noticing a difference. I mean, I'm noticing a difference here. All right, let's just try like 83%. It's gonna take a minute to enhance. So while that's going on, let's go to the chat, see what's going on. Curious, what do you think about this new feature? I think it's kind of cool, especially if it, you know, works. I really want to see what it looks like on this image in particular, because I have a feeling this is a pretty good test. But I do typically a good amount of shooting in some low light situations. I do a lot of stuff like indoor, kind of like live music events, and so with that, this would be ideal. Like it's really cool because, like, you know, certain cameras you can only go so high before it gets just too noisy and not really usable. So if you're able to match like a full frame sensor, a low aperture lens like 1.8, or even, you know, if you had something that was lower, and then you could ride your ISO, but even if you go a little higher, you could apply this and it works, then that's going to be pretty stinking cool. Okay, let's get back to our image. It's almost done here. Nearly done. Or is it done? What? What just happened? Did it not do the thing? Okay, we're gonna hit enhance. Generating enhanced DNG. So I don't love that, but maybe it was freaking out because I've been doing other stuff here. Oh, it's not showing the progress bar. Yeah, there's a little progress bar that's just above the image over here, and it was just showing that it had started and then it stopped. So we're just gonna have to wait a little bit until she's ready to go. That's nice. Maybe while we're waiting on that, I've been wanting to find a way to show everybody what is going on with the live setup. So let's do this. Oh, I need to be here. So while we're waiting on the photo, we have, boom. Okay, guys. So I wanted to show you the setup I got going on right now. This is the new kind of like build that's going on. Don't mind all my kids stuff down there, but this here is the big stand that's on the desk. It's the desk that my wife and I have to share, and so I got pretty much everything mounted onto this one pole. Got a nice little monitor right there. I've got my Sony a7 IV with the 20mm f1.8 lens, and that is going up to the Zhune M60. It's very, very tiny little light. It's got a little softbox on it, and it's 60 watts and puts out a good amount of output for the size of it. And then I've got my microphone here that I'm using. It's the Rode Video Go 2. And yeah, and then I'm just running everything to my computer here through OBS. And so yeah, pretty cool. Which, by the way, if you're messing with OBS, I just found out that you could do your phone as a webcam. It's pretty cool. That might be a new feature with Mac Ventura. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, let's go to the photo, see what happens. Okay, literally nothing is going on. What is happening? Y'all, this is the thing about live, I guess. Oh, it generated it. Okay, in a different screen. Got it. All right. So anyway, here's our before and our after. So there's obviously all this decoloration or discoloration that's happening here, but can we turn this off? Yeah, let's do this. It's our before and the after. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's see if we can edit this then. So even if you bring it like way up, okay, got it. So now we just have color noise, which I think we can fix that. Let's do color noise. What are our options here? Detail and smoothness. It's so crazy. It's definitely got some it needs some help, but it did smooth it out, which is cool. All right, let's see. I'm just curious. I'm not saying this is gonna work at all, but I'm wondering if applying a preset is gonna hurt or help. Let's try that Coastal Punch, that freebie again. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Okay, so I think that this is a good example of some images that cannot be saved or redeemed. I mean, it's, if I really wanted to work this, I could. If I took my preset off, that would probably help it. But I will say this, it is very smooth in comparison to where it was. So, hey, a little bit of a fail, but you know, that's the, We were testing. That's why we're testing this whole thing. Okay, let's try this one. This is of yours truly. I want to make sure this is all set to original. Okay, cool. I was just messing around with like some thumbnail stuff. And yeah, so I'm wondering if I brought this up, it starts to get a little bit noisy. And we're just gonna take it to the extreme here. Okay. So now we are basically artificially introducing a bunch of noise, especially in the corners down here, in my hoodie, and then just in that darker area. So before and after. Now you wouldn't necessarily do that on this photo, like need to do these adjustments. I just want to try it for science. So let's go ahead and mess with our denoise here. Once it gives me the option, start messing with it. Yeah, let's focus on this area. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's go. Saying 2 minutes to enhance. Let's try. Yeah. Let's go ahead and give that a shot while it's doing its thing. Maybe. Let's do this guy. Because I do want some of the shadowy stuff. I mean, quite honestly though, it's pretty clean without the enhancement. So I'll be curious to see what else it does. Let's see, I want to adjust the sharpness on the face. So there's an interesting thing you do with your detail. If you hold Option on your computer, or I don't know what it is on a... Wait, why is this not working? It's manual noise. Oh, that's reduction. That's why. Where's detail? There we go. This is what I wanted to see. So hold Option on your sharpening, and like if you went to masking and hold Option, what this does is as you move your slider, it's basically showing you which parts of the image is actually being sharpened. So basically zero masking means that the entire image is being sharpened. And as you move it further, it's grabbing things with more detail and it is choosing to sharpen those things. So in this instance, it's really like gathering more of my face and things of that nature as opposed to, you know, some of the other stuff. Okay, so here's our denoise, and it's looking pretty good. Oh, phone call. Okay, so now let's go through, add our preset, run back up to the top here, bring up some exposure, the shadows, which are extra clean now. I mean, that's very, like before it was fine, but this is actually even, that's crazy. It's even more, it's just a lot nicer. I don't know what else to say. Drop the highlights. So I guess even if you're someone who's like really particular about getting, you know, like zero noise in your image, this denoise feature is going to be pretty cool for you. Okay. So let's go ahead and lift more of the shadows because we can now. Lift a little more of the blacks. White point. I think what's also throwing me off is I need to crop this better. Let's go ahead and try that 4x5. Sure. And I wanted to go back to this sharpening mask, holding down Option, and bam. So now it's just sharpening those few areas, because if it's down all the way, I don't know if you're able to see the difference here. Here, let me do masking back up, 97% or whatever. Even if I like crank it, it doesn't do a ton to the image, but if I take the masking down, just kind of like watching this area, it like really, like now my skin is looking almost like, I mean, it's not the best anyway, but it's looking like extra bad, so I'll undo it. And so it's much softer, and then it's like hyper detail without that masking. So that's, you know, 150% sharpening. So yeah, it's pretty good. I think I like that. Not too bad for a little self-portrait job. Cool. Well, it's an interesting tool. I'm definitely like curious about it. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you feel like this tool is something that you'll be using in the future? Do you see the value in the denoise? Sorry, my wife is texting me. Okay, talking about getting some bookshelf set up behind. Okay, let's go ahead and let's just do another photo edit, just because we can. This one may not be necessarily to do with the noise reduction, but I just kind of want to edit a picture, and then we can wrap things up here. So I think I want to edit. These are almost all the same. Let's go with this one. Okay, so this was a photo from a recent vacation that my wife and I took. Let's see here. We're gonna straighten things out. Auto. That did terrible. Okay. We're not gonna trust that probably ever again. I'm just trying to straighten out the angle of the horizon, which if you're not doing, you definitely should. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be done with purpose. And of course we'll do the 4x5 croppage. Acropolage. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah. Seems decent. Is that straight? I feel like my eyes are deceiving me on this. I mean, it's... yeah, I guess it is. Okay, cool. Alright, let's just go ahead. We're gonna chuck a preset on there, I think. Let's go ahead. What's this do? It's pretty intense. I'm gonna go with smooth. This is one of the ones from the preset pack. Nope, I changed my mind. Alright, let's do the basic one. Okay, I'm gonna lift up some exposure, drop my highlights, and we're gonna do some work on this. Warm things up a little, and I think the sharpening is throwing me off a little bit, so we're gonna do our little trick. Can I get the focus over there? And we can take that away now. Cool. I think what we need to do is whoa, that's reading as yellow? That's crazy. Very interesting. I'm just trying to increase some of the saturation in these blues. No real rhyme or reason. Just trying to go for a slightly warmer vibe on all this. And then let's go ahead and we'll mess with the sky. The sky. Yes, I got what I was expecting. Thank you. I just love the selection tools they got going. It's awesome. Let's go ahead. Slightly cooler. I think I might pump some of the cool. Like that. Just out of curiosity, what if we add a little zing coming in here? So you can kind of see where the light's coming from. Come on. Oh my gosh, just center it up. There we go. This is gonna be crazy. Let's just see. This might be a thing. Okay. It's kind of fun. Maybe need to take down some of the some of that blur intensity over there. Okay. Alright, sorry, I'm not really talking much. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do here. Yeah, it's kind of fun. I like it. And I think potentially now I want to change some of these other colors. Okay, we're good. We're good. Boom. Don't want to warm it up too much. Yeah. Maybe do up on the highlights. We're just riffing, people. All right, linear. Gotta darken this slightly. And a little bit of contrast, a little bit of warmth. And then we're gonna go through, we're gonna add, oh, you can do objects? Can you do the stairs? That'd be really cool. Because I kind of want this to be the focus. I'll grab part of the stairs. Dude, I love these tools. Just see what that does. Okay. Warm. Contrast. Okay. And then, where is lens? I do like me a vignette. The 35 that I shot this on very much has a nice, I'd say a pretty decent vignette on it, but personally I like it. It's kind of cool. I think what I might do, let's try to lift some of these blacks. Actually, what's the darkest? That's not even doing nothing. Let's just lift a little bit of the blacks. Bump that exposure a little bit. Just want to see if I can get a white point in here. Yeah, this is going to be good. Okay. A little more dehaze. If you guys don't know, dehaze does like micro contrast, and it's like micro contrast, and then it adds like saturation, because that's what contrast will do. So I'm liking this. I think I might want to just, I mean, this is our before and after, so very like glowy golden kind of vibes. And I think maybe just warm it up a tad bit more. And I think I want to desaturate those blues that I was messing with. There's like nothing there. Yeah, just much less, more subdued. I think I like. And then we'll do a radial filter. Another one. That's not what I wanted. Let's undo that. And get this kind of focused on our object area. Maybe I should paint this instead. Might need to paint this. We're gonna paint it. Brush. And we're not going to auto mask. So I'm just reducing brush size. Alright, I need to like turn this one off. Brush. Hello. There we go. That's what I wanted. And that can stay. This one now. Boost exposure. Contrast. A little bit of warmth. Alright. And just for the fun of it, a little extra vignette. So, before and after, a little like golden glow kind of vibe. Okay. The only other thing I might mess with, potentially, is just have this kind of like stretch across a little bit more. Yeah, kind of cool. I don't know. We're just riffing, just having a good time. I like this though. I like how it's kind of like that golden, just warm glow, because that's what I sort of remember it more as in the moment. So there you go. Let's just hop in, see what else we got here. Oh, you're amazing. Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I haven't been enhance the background music. Cool. Appreciate it, Vlad. Yeah. Sorry, I just had like little, I was just plugged in on that one. Abdul says, Zach, your videos rock. I've learned so much from you. Keep up the work. Dude, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. I'm really trying to focus more now on doing more of these videos. It's tough as a dad sometimes, to be honest. Fatherhood is amazing, but between working, being a husband and a father, and not having a dedicated space to work is really difficult for YouTube. So, yeah, I really appreciate it, and I'm really trying to put more of a concentrated effort to just get more out there. So it might be in the form of more live streams, or I do have videos planned, and even to talk through this whole setup that I got going on here, which is a ton of fun. Vlad, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, guys, so this is where we're at, and yeah. Does anybody else have any questions? I'm out of coffee. I haven't had my lunch yet, but I'm okay because I'm editing photos. Let me just pop in and see if there's anything else that we want to edit here. Any other sort of layers? Any questions that you guys might have? I'm just going to check real quick before I switch screens. Oh, okay. I got a fun one we can do. Why not have a little bit of fun? Okay, so same trip. This was a little squirrel that was just down on the boardwalk area. And so he was very friendly. I'm assuming they get a lot of people feeding them stuff because he came up real close to us. So let's just go ahead and edit this little squirrel. See what we can do with him. All right, we're gonna place him in the center, do a nice little 4x5. Do we want to crop in more is the question. Let's do it. I have another one here. It's also a little closer, but you don't really get much. This is a little nicer, I think. Okay, cool. So per usual, the way I will generally start photos that I edit is with a preset that I made, because that's what I do. Do I really like any of these right now? Smooth is good. Okay, let's do smooth, and we're gonna bust out this edit right quick, and then I'll get to some questions if anybody has them, and then we'll call that a stream. So a little before and after, and I like this smooth one. Just kind of brings in some nice tones. Obviously what it's doing, like desaturating and cooling down some of those greens, is a lot of fun. So let's see, we got this guy. I wish he was a little bit sharper, actually. So what we can do, we're just gonna select him. Select the subject, let Photoshop do its thing. Mostly got everything. I'm gonna go ahead and subtract from the subject, and we'll use the brush. And basically we are painting away. Oh, let me add to that, okay. So we're just painting away parts of this image. I mean, this is definitely not the most perfect mask job you've ever seen, but it's a good start. So something along those lines. Just want to make sure we're just selecting the squirrel. Okay, so now we have him. Let's go ahead and do that sharpness trick that we were talking about earlier. Where's detail? Oh, interesting. So you don't get the options to do your specialty sharpness job on that. Okay, good to know. All right, bump the texture a little bit and the sharpness. Coolio. Okay, so looking just a little bit more crisp on the squirrel there. Mr. Squirrel. Go ahead and let the lens vignette. Oh, lens vignette won't really matter because we cropped in our image. What else can we do? Maybe just straighten this out a little bit more. It looks off balance because the angle of everything when it was shot, but if we're trying to keep it right with the horizon line, it should be like this. Okay, cool. I think I want to warm it up a little bit, and what I want to do is take this little color picker and mess with the hue direction. So all I'm doing is kind of like just changing the colors. Like if you've never used this little color picker thing, it's awesome because you can just grab certain sections to say like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna click here on an image and I want to increase the saturation. So like if I wanted to increase the saturation of the, I don't really know exactly if that's blue or if it's teal or if it's purple or whatever. You just click and then you move it and it will make the adjustment for you, which is pretty cool. So just add a little bit of blue, and we already know these greens are pretty desaturated. Just make them black. We'll add a little bit of saturation back, bring some life to it, and then yeah, not too much, but just a little bit on this wood vibe. It's interesting. This was kind of like more of a direct sunlight kind of thing. Direct sunlight's just always like really tough and kind of harsh to work with, but we'll go with that. And what else do we want to do with this friend of ours? Actually, I do want to check, was there maybe a little bit of chromatic aberration? If you've not messed with the chromatic aberration stuff before, basically it's just certain lens have like fringed colors, and so you can apply defringing. So without and with, it's like this section, which I know at this point it's like, who's gonna even care about it? I care. So that's what makes the difference, is, you know, I care. Okay, so before and after, it's kind of a nice little move there, I think. Anything else we want to do? Drop the highlights more. Just boost a little contrast. What about lifting the blacks? Not too bad. And then if we wanted to, like, because the vignette won't work from the lens because we've cropped in on the image so much, there is still the option to do it. Where are we at here? In the effects panel. So there's like texture and clarity and all the different things like that. You know, you can definitely overdo these things. So I'm just gonna do a slight vignette, just ever so slightly. And I'm holding Option to be able to see where the midpoint of this is and be able to see like the actual effect of everything. I would say in general, if you're doing a vignette, you want to just keep it, you know, keep it pretty feathered out and mild. That's just my, it doesn't really do much, but just kind of helps to darken up a few of those edges. So our before and our after of Mr. Squirrel here. Let's see what else is going on here in the chat. Crazy how much layers can be added. Yes, it is very crazy. What, you want a watch game? Oh, the watch. Yes, thank you. This is actually brand new. So recently, on YouTube, I don't know where it started, but I just started getting more recommendations for like watch content. And I have watches. I don't really have expensive watches, but now that I've been seeing more of these videos, it makes me want an expensive watch. But I'm not trying to spend, I'm just trying not to spend a lot of money on things like that right now. But in the future, and I'm recording this, but in the future, when I make it big on here, I'm gonna buy myself a really nice watch. But in the meantime, this was like a little anniversary gift to myself. This is a Casio, it's like a WR something or other. I don't really know. If you really want to know, and I can get nerdy on this, first of all, this is a cheap watch. It's like maybe like $60 or something. Not the cheapest, but pretty cheap in relation to most. But this dial color is like kind of like a Tiffany blue, and there was a really expensive brand called Patek Philippe, and they had like this big Tiffany like anniversary where they partnered with Tiffany and Co. And so anyway, those watches are very limited, and they're like, I think one of them sold for like $3 million or something. And so this kind of a color has been well sought after since like the hype of that watch. So anyway, that's my rambling on about watches. But yeah, I like watches. It's fun to accessorize, you know, like rings and watches and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, this has been fun. This has been really good. I'm going to be doing more streams, more content's coming up in the future. Please stay up to date with everything. As always, feel free to reach out to me on, like, you can reach out to me in the comments. You can reach out to me on Instagram. And if you want to support the channel or anything that I'm doing at all, go to the links below. And yeah, just really appreciate you watching. And I hope that you have an amazing day. And until the next time, my name is Sopak. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.